Every year, innocent people and kids are killed across the country. Many times, a mass shooting is caused by a psycho, mentally unstable person who kills people for no reason. Out of 100, 88.8% of people have guns in America. That is the highest in the world. And the number of mass shootings is 78% in America, which is also the highest in the world. All those statistics have one thing in common: psychotic people. Every person who is buying a gun should have a background check because mentally unstable people are killing innocent kids, leaving families heartbroken and devastated, and finally they're buying guns too easily. On December 14th, 2012, Newton, Connecticut, 20-year-old Adam Lanza fatally shot 20 children and 6 adult staff members. Lanza was described as gifted by his mother. Despite being gifted, he was socially emotional. He also had a tough time making friends, which led him to be the way he was. He was so messed up that before leaving to Sandy Hook Elementary School, he shot and killed his mother while she was sleeping and then later committed suicide. How would you feel if you were the man or woman who sold Lanza that semi-automatic shotgun? The man or woman probably knew in the back of their mind he was messed up, but there was nothing they could have done to not sell him the gun. That is why we need stricter background checks on these types of people. The person who sold him the gun had basically helped him in his awful crime. To kill an innocent first grade boy or girl, you have to be crazy, to the point where you should keep people like you in a mental institution. Without the background check on Adam Lanza, families were devastated right before the holidays. Think about not having your little brother or sister there on Christmas morning, all happy just because a crazy man didn't get a background check before buying a gun and killing your little innocent brother or sister. 20 families lost a loved one to someone not having a background check. The sad thing is, Lanza had no real reason for killing the kids that had a full adventurous life to live ahead of them. Without a background check, those 20 kids never got to graduate high school or college, never got to get married and have their own children, and watch their children live the life they had taken away from them. The Second Amendment of the United States Constitution reads, "A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed." The word infringe means to actively break the terms of. The Constitution of the United States should not be violated. But do you really want a psychotic person carrying around guns? Again, 89% out of 100 own guns, and that is the highest in the world. And the number of shootings, the mass shootings, is 78% in America. It is also the highest in the world by a large margin of 75% to the UK. What does that tell you? People aren't using guns for hunting or self-defense, they're using them for violent acts. Since the shooting in Newton, Connecticut, lawmakers have been revisiting the issue of background checks for gun buyers. Any person can buy a gun with a license, which is kind of scary. Ice Cube's song, A Man's Best Friend, plays off a popular phrase of "a dog is a man's best friend," referring to a dog as a gun. Guns are literally at the tip of your fingertips, the tip of your fingers, for anyone to buy and use. And even if you know deep down in your heart that the person you are selling the gun to is a criminal or mentally disabled, you can't turn down a customer. You can live in the safest, most pristine town, but there is always a person out there trying to hurt people with a gun and cause harm. That is why background checks are necessary for the safety of civilians. Without background checks being strictly enforced, the mass shootings and deaths will rise in America. Every year, harmless adults and children are being killed by psychotic maniacs. To limit those high numbers of mass shootings and deaths, we'll need everyone who buys a gun is required to get a background check before they can use it. With these laws being more strictly enforced, less citizens in our great nation will be saved from crazy people who are committing terrible acts of manslaughter.